Welcome to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show, a real estate investment program. Listen and learn how to use real estate to build wealth and passive income streams for you and your family. We bring you experts every day to discuss and answer your questions on everything from single-family homes all the way up to 600-plus unit apartment complexes. And now, the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show.
Hello and welcome to the show. This is Andy Webb, with Lifestyles Unlimited, and as always, we're working on your financial freedom. Hey, if you're hearing a bit of a noise in the background, or kind of a rushing sound, that is not me having just jumped out of an airplane with my microphone, nothing at all of the sort. Actually, I'm coming to you live from Houston, from the George R. Brown Center, where we are at our Wealth and Passive Income Expo. It's the Lifestyles Unlimited Wealth and Passive Income Expo. We're actually on the third day. It's Saturday, getting a little late in the day. A lot of folks are out attending sessions right now, breakout sessions, getting a lot of education. And I want to tell you a little bit about what's been going on today. Later in the show, I've got some vendors with me today, and we're going to try to pick a couple people up, man off the street, the couple of folks that aren't in those sessions right now, and see what's going on with them and what sort of an experience they've had. And I've got a couple of awards that I'm going to give out later in the show as well in the last segment for some of our vendors. But I want to start with, we've got our grand sponsor here sitting with me, AMP Lending. I've got Chad Roten with AMP, and we're going to talk a little bit with Chad, hear what they do, and see how the experience has been for him here at the Wealth and Passive Income Expo. Chad, thanks for joining me, and if you could start, if you don't mind, just tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
Absolutely. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate you having me on. Again, this is Chad Roten with AMP Lending. We are your conventional lender for 1 to 4 unit, single family, duplex, triplex, fourplex properties to help you get started in investing in single family residences, whether it's buying a property that's ready for conventional financing out the gate, your typical 20% down. We also offer hard money conversions, properties that maybe need a little bit of work. You want to go with hard money first to help fix a property up. We're going to be your takeout to get you in the permanent financing. A third product that we do is called delayed financing. That's where if you've got the capital to pay cash for a property, we can turn around and get you your money back out of the property immediately after you buy it. And I can go over in detail with you how that process works. Additionally, we do some cash out refinances on primary residences, any investment properties that you own, to help get you start up capital to start your real estate investing.
All right. Hey, great stuff, Chad. And you guys do a ton. And I'm a single family investor, so you're exactly the type of lender that I use. I buy with hard money, so I do that conversion on the back end. So I'm curious. So we've got the expo here. We've got close to 5,000 attendees here. So you guys have been talking over the last 3 days to a lot of people. What are the top, let's say, 3 to 5 questions that you've gotten from curious investors?
Sure, absolutely, Andy. So one of the main questions we get is I'm a brand new real estate investor, don't really know where to get started, and that's great. That's where I'm here to help. First step you want to do is get pre-qualified with a conventional lender. Whether you're going to be buying properties with conventional financing at the gate or with hard money, you're going to want to make sure you're qualified with, or pre-approved with a conventional lender, because the last thing that you want to do is get under contract, or even worse, getting a property in hard money and not be able to get out of it with a conventional type loan, which is going to be your exit strategy. So I'm going to walk you through the pre-approval process. We're going to make sure you're pre-approved from a credit standpoint. I like to call it the 4 C's: credit, capital, capacity, and collateral. Your credit's going to be essentially your credit scores. I'm going to have to make sure that you have a qualifying credit score. Capital is going to be your money in your bank that you have, 401k, checking, savings account that you're going to use for not only down payment but also to meet your reserve requirement. Capacity is going to be your ability to repay the mortgage, the amount of money that you're making on a monthly basis versus your monthly debts. And the collateral is the property itself. What's that house going to appraise for, and is that house in good shape? So I will walk you through how to get pre-approved. Typically I can get you pre-approved within a couple hours of getting the application piece from you and all of your necessary documentation. Another question that's coming up is we're teaching a breakout session on how to finance 10 properties in 10 months, and people have obviously come by and asked kind of what that's all about. And the general premise behind that is that if you can qualify from a credit and income standpoint to purchase one investment property, you're going to be able to qualify from a credit and income standpoint to purchase the maximum amount Fannie Mae allows, which is 10. Because the idea is as you acquire rental properties, you're going to lease them out, use that rental income to offset that debt, and your debt to income ratio is going to stay the same or actually improve. So at that point, you just have to game plan and make sure that you are going to qualify from a reserve standpoint.
Last question, what you got?
What's that?
What's the last common question you're getting there?
Common question I get is I'm new to real estate investing. I don't really have any money. Where I'm going to come up with the money to invest in real estate? And the answer to that is we're going to look and try to find different avenues that you can come up with it. Maybe you've got a 401k retirement account you can liquidate. A lot of people don't realize that they've got equity in their primary residence that is untouched. A lot of people are doing cash out refinances to raise the capital to start investing in real estate.
All good information, and I've enjoyed talking with Chad. I had a couple of questions. I'm a little bit more advanced. We're well past that 10, but I had some questions for him as well, because as you get a little bit farther along, you need to be talking to your lenders. You need to understand what are your options as you max out, say, for example, that Fannie Mae, those 10 buckets. So I want to ask you can you speculate a little bit? I know there's a lot going on in the markets. Do you have your glass ball ready? Can you tell us where rates are headed?
Rates, that's a good question, Andy. And rates are super low right now. And at this point, the reason they're so low is because a lot of the reason is the uncertainty going on with the coronavirus. That is keeping rates low right now. And if you will follow AMP Lending on our Facebook page and our Instagram page, we do update daily or as close to daily as we can, market conditions, where rates are at, any guideline changes that we feel investors need to be aware of that come through the pipe with Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, any new products that come out or anything new that AMP is offering. So definitely follow us on our Facebook page and our Instagram page at AMP Lending.
All right, Chad. Hey, I thank you a bunch for joining me. I thank you guys for hosting the event. It's been a wonderful event. I know you guys have been doing a great job there with the presentation, and we're heading into a break. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about what's been going on here at the Expo, some of those sessions we've been having, and if I can wrangle a couple of good souls over here to talk with me on the mic and share their experience, you'll hear from them as well when we come back with the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show.
Welcome back to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. Now, let's get back to your map to financial freedom.
Welcome back to the show. This is Andy Webb, and I'm really excited to come to you today because I'm coming to you live from Houston. I made the drive down here with my wife from Dallas, Texas, to the Lifestyles Unlimited Wealth and Passive Income Expo here at the George R. Brown Center. We're in the final day of this. It's been a marathon, but a fun race to run. There have been a lot of events, a lot of networking. I have personally met a ton of people, and I really expanded my circle, which is always a good thing to do, which is why we come to these types of events. And I've got a guest sitting with me today. We just kind of plucked him out of the crowd as he was strolling by. So we're going to hit him up with a couple of questions now. Who I've got sitting with me now is Matthew Pearson. Matthew comes from Frisco. That's up near where I am, up around the Dallas area. And Matthew's going to tell us a little bit about himself. Now, are you already a member here?
Yes, I am.
When did you come on board with Lifestyles?
So I joined as a preferred member in December 2018.
Okay, December of 2018, and I want you, listeners, to note that date because I think you've got some good experience under your belt already. So December of 2018, here we are, February of 2020, so a little over a year. What have you managed in that time?
So I joined in December 2018. I was kind of slacking a little bit at the beginning, didn't actually get started until about February of the next year. And then at that point, I went to the 2-day and really bought in at that point. And in the next 3 months, I ended up getting into 6 passive investments and with multifamily, and that was great, but it kind of just was a taste. And so I wanted more. And so then in June, I decided that I was going to get certified as lead, and I closed my first deal exactly a month ago.
And that is worth a big congratulations. Shake my hand. That is wonderful stuff. 6 passive deals. Is that what I heard? Mm-hmm. Okay. That alone is good stuff in the first year. On top of that, making the decision, I'm going to be a lead. I'm going to take that lead investor certification that Lifestyles Unlimited offers, and I'm going to go buy an apartment complex. Now, you syndicated this, right? If I'm understanding, as a lead. Okay. So that is good stuff. Now, I got to ask you the question. Here we are at this wonderful facility full of almost 5,000 investors. What brought you down here to the Expo, all the way down from Dallas?
So the biggest thing that I love coming to Expo for is really meeting all the people. So I came last year as my very first time. I was purely interested as a passive investor at that point, and I was just amazed at all of the things I could learn at that, and that helped me get interested in becoming a lead as well, visiting the breakout sessions, talking to all of it seems like hundreds of vendors here that are all kind of working together with us to make it work, and that's really what I'm here for, is that. And there was a few sessions this time that I came, marketing and that kind of stuff, now that it's more applicable to me as a lead, that I really need to improve my skills on, since that's never previously been a skill set of mine.
So that's a good takeaway, first of all. So Matthew came last year. He came with one particular goal in mind, to become a passive. He came to learn a couple of things, meet some people. As a passive investor, a lot of what you're doing is networking, getting to know those other leads, and that's one of the things that happens here. There's a great event. I think it's coming up here in just an hour, right? So you're going to go into a room. You're going to meet, I don't know how many lead investors there. You're going to interview them, basically. You're going to get to know who they are. You're going to get to know them. You're going to have some good conversations and understand where they're going with their business. Is that something you want to participate in? And that's exactly what Matthew did. Now he's come back for round 2. Obviously, he's a lead. He hasn't said this, but I'm guessing he's going to have a table in there as well. So I'm going to be sure, when we're done with the show today, I'm going to be sure to wander over there and see what's going on, get a little bit deeper with Matthew there, see, hey, already done one deal. Maybe I want to get in on his next deal. So good place to be for that. And another point is, as you come to these events, we talk about it all the time. You go to the 2-day, you go the first time, you have a couple of points you take away. You go back another time and you have a different perspective, just like Matthew did. This time he's come down as a lead with some specific targets in mind. And as a final question, as somebody that's done this and done it pretty darn quickly, I have to say, which is just totally awesome. If to the people here in the room, maybe they're going to be listening to this on the podcast later, that are hesitating, that are on the fence, to the listener that's catching us live right now, what kind of tips would you have, or what would you tell them to do?
I mean, I certainly had some level of hesitation coming in, just because it was all so new to me. I think the biggest thing that helped me was just finding something I was initially comfortable with. So once I figured out how the multifamily side worked, I really was comfortable with doing that, and then I started meeting as many leads as I could, getting comfortable with them. And that kind of was like toe in the water to really, once I got through that and saw some reports coming back, and it had been going well for a couple months, that's when I really felt comfortable with really everything in the process. And
awesome. Well, I thank you very much. Thank you for joining me. We kind of sprung this on you. I know that. So you did great, and you are, as a passive and as a lead, you are doing great. So have a safe drive back up to Dallas area tomorrow. I'll probably be right behind you. So thanks again. That's Matthew. And I want to continue. I want to tell you just a little bit more about what's going on. So you got kind of a hint from our first 2 conversations. Now, I mentioned that I'm coming to you live from the George R. Brown Conference Center here in Houston, and I'm sitting actually in the expert hall. Does that make me an expert? I don't know. It means I can talk, I guess. I'm here at the radio booth. All the radio guys are here, in fact. And behind me, I'm facing a wall right now, but sitting behind me is a row of vendors. So we just grabbed Chad from AMP Lending from the expert hall, and we've got any number of lenders. We've got insurance guys here. We've got basically all those experts that you need on your team. We talk about building a team at Lifestyles Unlimited all the time. It's critical. You don't need to do this whole thing yourself, and in fact, there are a lot of moving parts. You're not going to be able to. So when I come to the Expo, one of the things I like to do is walk through the hall, grab a couple of pieces of candy here and there as I go, but talk to everybody that's in the room, because I'm going to need them for some part of my business at some time, whether I'm a single-family investor, which I am, or a multifamily investor, which we just heard from Matthew, he is. And that's here in the expert hall, but it gets even better. So you leave the hall and you start wandering around the George R. Brown Convention Center here, and there are a ton, and I mean a ton, of breakout sessions going on. So the whole event actually began Thursday evening. Registration demonstration. We had some networking events, formal and informal, of course, and then all day Friday. Now, Friday we had the Multifamily Masters bus tour. I did not participate in that. We were sitting here faithfully at the booth talking to folks, and I'll tell you what, as part of that process, I met a lot of people. I met a lot of new investors that are coming up, seeing excitement in their face as they walk through here. A lot of people that are just totally new to lifestyles. Maybe they're here in Houston, very close, easy to get in. A lot of people actually traveled here. I met a guy, in fact, yesterday, just at an informal networking event, let's call it, over at the hotel after hours, and he flew in from Virginia. So he'd been catching the Del Walmsley radio show over there on the East Coast, and he'd been listening to it for a while. I think a good year is what he told me, and finally he's like, you know what, I got to do something. I got to make this happen. Now's the time to get rolling. So what did he do? He hopped on a plane and he got on over here to the Expo today, actually this week. He joined Lifestyles, and so he's getting the ball rolling. In fact, he's in the process. He's a single family guy. He's shopping for his first investment. And Virginia, if you've heard me talk before, we've had some case studies with members from Virginia that aren't buying in Virginia because it's a little bit prohibitive. So they're leveraging that network, that those vendors that I see here in the hall, the Lifestyles team, to buy right here in Texas. And that's exactly what this young man that I met yesterday from Virginia is planning to do. So again, we're coming to you live from the George R. Brown Center here in Houston. This is the Lifestyles Unlimited Wealth and Passive Income Expo 2020. And I think I hear the music coming on. It's pretty loud here. We got a lot of people in attendance. I think I hear the music coming on, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll to a break. And when we come back, I've got Maite Benitez with me, and we're gonna talk to her about the Lifestyles and organization, what it's done for her.
Listening to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show will change your life. We will teach you how to create wealth and passive income so you can be financially free. And now, back to your host.
Welcome back to the show, and welcome back to the George R. Brown Convention Center, and welcome back to the Lifestyles Unlimited Wealth and Passive Income Expo 2020. We're coming to you live from the Expo. We've had a couple of guests on already. We've had a vendor. We've had an actual member that just recently did his first multifamily deal within about a year from joining. Totally phenomenal track record there that young man has already had. And now I want to introduce you to another guest. I've brought on with me here Maite Benitez, and she is our VP of Marketing, and guess what she does? She helps us put together these wonderful events. I'm holding the Live Your Legacy handbook here, the event book that tells us all about all the events going on. It is chock full of great stuff, and I'm going to let Maite tell us a little bit more about herself, when she joined Lifestyles, and what's been going on at this year's Expo, and then we'll tell you a little bit about what's coming up.
Hi, Andy. Thanks so much for having me on. So happy to be here with everyone at the Expo and getting a chance to talk to the folks at home who are missing a world-class event. So what are we doing right now? Right now at the Expo, we're heading into session 3, and it is quite literally the largest gathering of successful real estate investors, I would say, in the world. We have syndicators, we have people who are passive investors, we have independent rental owners, and they are all getting ready at 5 o'clock to have what I have seen, and I've been in this industry, in real estate, in education since 2003, what I have seen to be the largest gathering of these successful folks, and I'm just so excited for them. This is the most anticipated event of the entire show. Of course, you mentioned we've been here for a couple of days. We kicked things off on Thursday. An unprecedented amount of people just came right out, right at 4 o'clock. We had such a blast. So we've been in breakout sessions. We have been in general session. We heard from Del Walmsley this morning, give his annual address. My goodness. We had the Superwomen on earlier today. We are going to be having the tax panel next. David Fisher was on. He is our resident life changer. We talked about legacy, and I just can't say enough great things about this event, and I'm being on both sides, as an investor, also as a member, and as a part of the team.
And I'm just going to interject here briefly because, we've got a lot of offices here in Texas, and I've seen a lot of Texas badges, but you know what I've noticed above all? I talked to a guy from Hawaii. I talked to a guy from Colorado. I just mentioned ahead of the break, met a guy last night from Virginia that is just starting down this path. I mean, they're coming from all over the place. So, I mean, it's a huge event. I mean, it is really huge. So what else can you tell us?
So we even have members that are from outside of the country. We have a member that is from Auckland. We have members from Canada. So we really are Lifestyles Unlimited International. And we have experienced an incredible amount of growth. And we have been bringing people in not only from all over the country, but all over the world. So yeah, that's super exciting.
Very good stuff. Very good stuff. And like I said, I've met some of those, and I'm looking forward to meeting some more of those foreigners, those non-Texans, so to put it. But and Maite, I'd like to hear more. So this is the 2020 event, and as you mentioned, it started on Thursday. We're approaching the end now. Now I know there's a huge networking event about to come up, and I'm looking forward to getting in there myself. And after Saturday, it's done. We're done for the year. What about next year? What can we expect? I heard there might be something going on late April. What can you tell us about Expo 2021?
Yeah, absolutely. I can give you guys the inside scoop. So right now we have dates that are penciled in for late April, again next year, right here in Texas, in Houston. As soon as we have confirmation of those dates, we will be releasing them. And for me and for my team that puts us on, and I'm sure for all the members, I'm already getting the question, when? So as soon as it's set in stone, we're going to send a save the date. We want to give everybody as much advance notice as we can because we don't want anyone to miss out. You've already missed so much not being here today. In the meantime, new Expo planning, 2021 Expo starts on Monday, and but what can you do? You can listen to the radio shows, you can pick up the podcasts, you can go to our YouTube channel, connect with us on Facebook, you can come to case study, you can go to free workshops. We hold them in the cities weekly all across the country, so don't miss out. You can go to lifestylesunlimitedworkshop.com and check out all of our free workshop schedules. So please, please, please don't wait. We give you future dates for anticipation, for planning, but take action now. Start where you are.
And if you notice, that date is late April, so guess what? You're going to be getting that refund from the IRS. So you're going to come down here ready to spend a little money, maybe get into some multifamily or some single-family deals. So, Maite, I thank you very much for your time. What parting words do you have for us today?
Oh my goodness, I have so many words for you guys today, but really just start now. If there's one thing that I hear, and if there's one bit of advice that I can give you, is it's never too soon to start. It's never too late to start. Start where you are, get into a free workshop, do yourself a favor, because the only regret I have ever heard from a Lifestyles Unlimited member is, if only I'd started sooner. So we'll see you in April, but in the meantime, we'll see you online. We'll see you on Facebook, Twitter, listen to the radio shows, download the podcast, and have a blessed day.
All right, Maite, hey, thanks a lot. I know you're busy. You're running this phenomenal event, so I thank you a ton for taking a little bit of time out of there. If you've ever been to one of these big events, there's a lot that goes into it. So got a lot of marketing material here. Like I said, the brochure I've got in front of me that lays out all these great sessions, getting all those folks down here. You met one of the vendors. We've just got a ton that goes into this, so thank you again. So, and I want to repeat something that Maite said, because she said the most common regret that she hears is that people did not start soon enough. And if you've listened to this show at all, if you've heard me on the podcast, that is my regret. That is my absolute biggest regret. And you know what else I did to top it off? Kind of like Matthew mentioned a second ago, I joined and then I dragged my feet for a long, long time before I pulled the trigger on that first deal. Now, he took a couple months. I was a little bit guilty of going a little bit longer than that. So, just get started. If you're sitting on the fence, if you're not sure where to go to lifestylesunlimited.com and you can click on the free workshop button there. We do these not just in Texas at our brick and mortar shops, not just at our brick and mortar location in Phoenix, Arizona that we just opened last year. We do these across the nation, so you're guaranteed to find one near you. In fact, at lunch today, I was sitting next to a guy in Oregon, or from Oregon, and he hooked up with Lifestyles from way up there in the Pacific Northwest. So I don't care where you're listening to us right now, live on the radio, or if you're listening to us on the podcast, go to lifestylesunlimited.com and click on that free workshop. What a lot of members do, or what a lot of future members do, is they say, you know what, Andy, I get it. I've been listening to you guys for a while. I'm ready just to jump right in. Well, you can do that as well online. For the good folks that are here at the Expo, they can join here as well, and they're going to get a huge discount. I'll tell you if they do, which is a benefit of coming to these types of events, of course. So it's been a phenomenal event, and I've been sitting here in the radio booth, like I mentioned. I met a fella from Jacksonville, Florida, and he's an older gentleman. He's been listening to the podcasts, and he finally took that plunge. He's a little bit older, and like Maite said, it's never too late. It's never too late. Whether you're already retired, but you're a little bit short on your revenue, your income, right? You're drawing down that Social Security. Maybe you're finally cashing out that 401k, but you're not quite getting to where you need to be. This is the time to go ahead and join and look at Lifestyles Unlimited. I'll tell you, you won't regret it. You won't regret it. So this fella from Jacksonville. Interestingly, I don't know what's going on in Jacksonville. I talked to no less than 7 people from Jacksonville well, since I've been here. A lot of them members, lead investor from there. So lots going on, not just here in Texas, not just in Arizona, like I said, where we've got our brick and mortar shops, but we've got investors doing good work in Florida, in Atlanta, Georgia. I talked to a lead here that is active in Tennessee. Talked to a guy that's doing some stuff in East Texas, in the Piney Woods, which is a beautiful place, a beautiful part of our country of Texas, again, so to speak. But we'll come back with the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show here in just a moment. I'm going to pass out some awards to a couple of our vendors that did a great job here at the Expo.
Welcome back to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. It's time to turn up the volume and fine-tune your passive income plan so you can create the lifestyle you've always wanted.
Do you hear that rumble? Do you hear that noise? This is Andy Webb coming to you live from the George R. Brown Conference Center in Houston, downtown Houston. We're at the Wealth and Passive Income Expo 2020. We're in our final day, and it's been a great session. I've met a ton of people. I know everybody. I see a lot of handshaking cards getting passed around. A lot of folks coming through the expert hall where I am sitting. And here in the expert hall, we've got, I don't know how many vendor booths set up. These are a little north of 40, it looks like. We've got guys that are here as tax advisors, lenders, insurance companies, construction guys, the whole gamut, paints. We got property managers, and so on. These are all folks that I want to have on my team as a single-family investor. These are all folks that you want to have on your team as a multi-family investor, especially as a lead or an independent rental owner. And as part of the Expo, what we do is we look at their booths, and we've got a couple of awards we're going to give out for Best Booth winner. And this isn't so much about all the fancy decoration they've all put up. They've all got it. They all look real sharp, but it's more about how they've handled those questions, how they've handled especially those inexperienced investors that have come up. So I'm going to give away third place winner for Best Booth, and this is going to Gateway Mortgage, and I've got Damon Maddox here with me. Damon, congratulations.
Thank you, Andy. Again, my name is Damon Maddox with Gateway Mortgage. I'm very pleased to accept this third place trophy. I'm very happy to hear that. So Gateway Mortgage, we are a single family conventional lender. We help all members, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio offices. We can even help the Phoenix office and nationwide to do any of their single family needs, whether it's cash out of their primary residence or buy their single family houses.
Okay, I like you money guys. I'm a former finance guy, and I buy single-family houses, so you're exactly who I need on my team. Now, I got to ask you, I'm a pretty tall guy, but I got to look up a little bit at you. How tall are you?
I'm 6'5".
Okay, and you're in the lending game, not in the basketball game, I guess. But hey, we love it, and congratulations again. You're doing a good job, and I know the investors here, they appreciate the responses and the information. So thank you again. All right. And again, that was Damon Maddox with Gateway Mortgage, number 3 winner here, best booth. Now I'm going to bring forward here our number 2 winner, and this is Wade Como. He's with another lender, Catalyst Funding. Hey, you guys, but here, look, I said ahead of the intro, it's not about the flair, it's not about the balloons, it's not about the koozies that I picked up for my cold beer later on. It's about how you handle the investors and how you interact with them, and you guys have done a great job as well. You're the number 2 winner, so for best booth, congratulations on that. And why don't you tell us just a little bit about what you guys do?
Yeah, so we are a real estate lender. We're a big supporter of the Lifestyles model. We own a lot of rentals our own in a separate entity, so we really believe in the philosophy in general. And we build a lot of products specifically to achieve the goals of Lifestyles investors. For instance, we have a single point of contact model where you have one loan officer for both the hard money loan and the permanent financing loan, all done under one roof with one credit pool. And they can even move into other products as they expand their horizons, moving into multifamily as well.
Okay, and that's an interesting point. So you're doing both the hard money and the back end refinancing into that 30-year Fannie Mae mortgage or whatever they need, right?
Yes. We one loan officer, one credit pool. They can move into that permanent financing on conventional loan, Fannie Freddie, or we also have alternative products, 30-year fixed, that are not required, not the same requirements. So they can use, for example, stated income or no income at all.
All right, very interesting. And last question, where do you guys operate? I think I missed that.
Yes, we are based in Houston at the intersection of 45 and the Beltway on the south side of town. We are doing deals today in San Antonio and Austin. We plan on expanding more heavily into that area. And then we're going to be in Dallas as well in the next 2 or 3 months. We can lend everywhere nationally, but our products are most robust here in the local Dallas and San Antonio, Austin, and Houston markets.
All right, Wade, hey, thanks for your time. Let me give you this award, and again, congratulations, second place here. All right. So they'll be coming up to Dallas soon. That's where I am based. I am a single family guy, so those are the guys I like to talk to. That's why I come to these events. And finally, number 1, first place, best booth winner. And again, I got to stress this. It's not about the flair. It's not about those little bottles of water. I've been sneaking away from you guys because I know I'm going to be talking on the radio and I'm getting a little parched. It's about how you're interacting with us, the investors. So I've got with me now the number 1 guy here, Heritage Construction and Consulting Services, Dax Ferguson. Dax, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
So Dax, for the listener that wasn't able to make it here to the Wealth and Passive Income Expo, tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
Yeah, so we're a multifamily rehab construction company. We do exterior and interior. That's mainly where we focus. We're in 10 states. So we're in Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Arizona. So we're doing construction in all those states. We also do due diligence, and it's been a big buzz around here is the due diligence services that we offer. We offer that nationwide, so we can do that in any of the lower 48 that y'all are looking to purchase properties in. We can take care of that for you.
Okay, and I want to mention you guys are one of our sponsors as well. Now, I know that did not influence the award. Let me give you this award, and I want to mention something else about you, Dax. I had the opportunity to see you up in Dallas. I'm from Dallas. I made it out to the multifamily road trip. I don't know, it's been a couple of months, and I know you've got quite a lot on your hands. You got a lot of boys, but I was really interested to hear you up on that panel because, boy, that information you gave on the due diligence process, that's tremendous. I know what I've learned from coming out and going to some of the breakout sessions here. I'm interested in multifamily, coming from the single family side where I do my own due diligence, but boy, when you're taking down a 50 unit, a 100 unit, a 200 unit or greater apartment complex, complex to know that I've got a guy like you with your length of experience on my team, on my side is just phenomenal. That panel that you guys did, that's something that Lifestyles does all the time, not just here at the Wealth and Passive Income Expo, of course, but that panel that you did, I forget who else was up there with you.
We had an insurance broker, and then Old Capital was there with us.
Exactly right. Everything that you need as part of your process to get into the multifamily space as an investor, whether you're buying as an independent rental owner or as a lead, these guys are there, and Lifestyles is putting together the informational sessions that you need to really to get the job done. So Dax, again, congratulations. It's been great talking with you. I enjoyed you, like I said, up in Dallas. Great show, and thanks again for being a sponsor here.
Thanks.
I look forward to seeing you in 2021. I hope you'll be here.
You will see us.
All right, you have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
All right, well, we've just got a few minutes left here on the show, and it's getting a little bit louder in here. I'm guessing the last breakout session might be rolling to an end here, so you might hear the din get a little bit louder. We'll just talk over that, I guess, but it's been a great session for a number of reasons. So we talked about the breakout sessions that have been going on, and when I say breakout session, what that is, these are long. These are 1 hour and 3/4, almost 2-hour-long sessions where we're going in. We pick the topic of our choice, and the way that it's laid out here in the handbook, it's super helpful. They've got 5 columns. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, going down the left side, but going across the top, depending on where you are in your progression, right? We've got a column for beginner or maybe new to Lifestyles Unlimited. There are a lot of people here, a lot of people that I met that were curious. They've heard the message, they've heard us talking on the radio. We said, hey guys, come on down, take the time, get in for a discount. We gave you the discount code, and they're here. And that's those sessions that I see in that column, those are for them. Moving on, we've got a ton of breakout sessions that we had on single family investing. I, being a single family investor, guess where I went? I went and sat in and listened, for example, to OmniKey Realty that presented on the Texas lease. I've been self-managing for 8 years now, and I took away a number of lessons and a number of learnings. So there's so much here. I don't care what your experience level is that you can take away. Moving on, we have multifamily investing for the independent rental owner, for that person that wants to buy their own apartment complex, whether it's 5 units all the way up to several hundred if you've got the money, right? Moving on, multifamily investing for the lead investor. A lot of courses for those guys like Matthew that we had a little bit earlier in the show he started out as a passive investor and moved on down the line and became a lead just, what did he say, a couple months ago. A lot of courses there. I sat in on a few of those personally. And then finally, multifamily investing for the passive investor. So if you think to yourself, you know what, I don't want to mess with those single family houses, Andy. That just sounds like a hassle. I'll tell you as a person, personally, as that type of investor, not a problem. Hey, Andy, I just don't want to deal with, I don't want the responsibility of managing other people's money. As a lead investor, that's fine. But you can still get into real estate as a passive investor. And we heard from any number of investors. Del Walmsley hosted the show this morning, kicked off the event this morning and introduced us to a number of investors that are primarily passive investors. They're building a legacy through their passive investing. There was one family that's in 65 plus apartments. There was another family that was in the 40s. I mean, just phenomenal stuff. And we learned about legacy, and we learned about preparing for the future and thinking about others and thinking about our family. And that's exactly what these folks are doing by coming out here, by learning, by getting involved, and by getting into those single-family and multifamily investments, planning for the future, planning for their heirs, preparing for their legacy. Again, live your legacy. That was the title this year. You've been listening to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show live from the George R. Brown Center Wealth and Passive Income Expo 2020. Great event. I thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you again soon. And remember, it's not the money. It's all about the lifestyle.
Thank you for listening to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. Ready for more of the map? Visit lifestylesunlimited.com. Explore our videos and articles. Click on the radio tab to access past show podcasts. View the radio show schedule and listen to our best of radio shows. Want to continue the conversation? Follow Lifestyles Unlimited on Facebook today. Join us next time. And until then, remember, it's not the money, it's the lifestyle.
The information and opinions you hear on the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show are those of the hosts, guests, and callers and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of this station, its affiliates, its management, or advertisers. The Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented on the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.